When I launched my show 4 years ago, we had Mark Cuban on the program. Yeah. It may seem he was in the news this week. And he started going on about how bad America's race history was and how ashamed he was of America, and that's why he was at all these protests, and he felt it was really important to stand up and speak out about human rights violations. And then it got awkward when I asked him about all the money he was taking from China. And then he dropped a bunch of F-bombs, and I thought, I really enjoy this feeling of proving Mark Cuban wrong. And so here I am at a Trump rally, a strong, intelligent woman to prove Mark Cuban wrong again.
Tonight, former Fox host Megyn Kelly publicly sold her soul to Donald Trump during a rally in Michigan, in which she gave her endorsement to Donald Trump. Of course, this is someone with whom she had disagreed and sparred in the past. But Donald Trump loves this. He loves a convert to his cause. Take J.D. Vance, for example, someone who criticized Trump and then, of course, abandoned his morals, a completely spineless individual who became one of Trump's most loyal supporters. So he loves that Kelly is endorsing him up to a point. Because during Megyn Kelly's speech, she said something that really hurt Donald Trump, really humiliated him, and I cannot wait to get into that. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way and really means the world to me. Now, before we get into Megyn Kelly's endorsement speech and the part where she hurt Donald Trump, I think we have to provide a bit of context on their relationship that really puts into perspective how sad this endorsement is with this clip right here.
I didn't know there'd be 24 million people. I figured, but I knew it was going to be a big crowd because I get big crowds. I get ratings. They call me the ratings machine. So I have, she gets out and she starts asking me all sorts of ridiculous questions. And, you could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever.
That is how Donald Trump has always viewed you, Megyn, and will always view you. And now you're giving your endorsement to him. You're throwing your support behind him. Now, I don't actually believe Megyn Kelly truly supports Donald Trump. She is a grifter, always has been, and always will be. She's just delivering lines of BS to the Trump audience because that is also her audience on her show. And that's why she's saying ridiculous things like this right here.
I won't take up much of your time, but I do want to tell you the main reasons I am voting for Donald Trump. Number one, immigration. He mentioned it. And people like Laken Riley. I'll be thinking about her tomorrow all day. 22 years old, killed in Georgia, a young nursing student by an illegal. I'll be thinking about Jocelyn Nungare, 12 years old, in Texas, murdered by 2 Venezuelan illegals. President Trump closed the border. Kamala Harris opened it by choice. It wasn't accidental. She said it would be humane. That's what she and her boss believed. Tell it to Laken Riley's family. There was nothing humane about it. He closed it. They opened it. It was an intentional choice, and there's no reason not to believe they won't do it again.
Conservatives were incensed. They were so angry when Mark Cuban pointed out the fact that Donald Trump is afraid of strong women. It's the reason why he literally would not look Kamala Harris in the eyes during their debate. And for Megyn Kelly to say, "Oh, I'm a strong woman. Mark Cuban is wrong." Donald Trump has constantly insulted you and your family and demeaned you for being a woman, and now you're standing by his side. What does that say about you, Megyn? What does that say about your character, or actually your lack of character? It says a lot. And it also says a lot when you fearmonger just like Donald Trump in this clip right here.
President Trump gets it. He will not look at our boys like they're second-class citizens. And ladies out there who want a bit of girl power in this election, let me tell you something. How can you win when the sons and the husbands and the brothers and the dads you love are losing? It's not a win. We care, young women and older, about the lives of our children, the safety of our children. And we need not get so obsessed with what happens when they're in the womb that we forget about taking care of them once we're here and they're loved. Last point. What I don't want, what I don't think you want, is the left's version of masculinity. You see that ad they did about Trump voters trying to encourage women to lie to their husbands so that they could vote for her instead of Trump? That's their version of what marriage looks like. An overbearing husband who bullies his wife into saying she voted one way as opposed to an honest...
Oh, man. Saying the quiet part out loud. Yes. Megyn, much like the rest of AGA, we're all falling asleep at Donald Trump's speeches at this point. I don't think she was saying, I'm up past my bedtime. I think she was saying, we are bored by you. We are tired of you. We are fed up. She accidentally let it slip. But it's not just her Trump supporters themselves have fallen asleep behind him because his speeches are so boring, so repetitive, so overdone. We've heard this so many times, we just want to turn the page, please. And that is exactly what Tim Walz was talking about in a real speech that people weren't falling asleep to, as shown in this clip right here.
Thanks to the love of my life, Gwen, for her endless support and for coming along with me on this wild ride. I also want to use this as an opportunity to thank my amazing kids, Hope and Gus. You guys are what it's all for, and I couldn't be prouder of you. And thank you to all of you. You could probably tell from these rallies all across the country tonight, this team is running like everything's on the line, because everything's on the line. But I want to take tonight to talk about one issue in particular that really underlines the stakes in this election. So let me speak to the guys in the crowd tonight. I want you to think about the women in your life that you love. Their lives are at stake in this election. Donald Trump appointed those Supreme Court justices who repealed Roe versus Wade, and he brags about it. He is glad that those women you're thinking about and you love have fewer rights than their mothers and their grandmothers. More than 20 states across this country now have Trump abortion bans. But don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Trump said to all the women here, he'll be your protector. And then he added, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. Well, now we're seeing women turned away from emergency rooms, miscarrying in parking lots, whether they like it or not. Survivors of rape being forced to carry those pregnancies to term, whether they like it or not. Fertility clinics turning couples away at the door, whether they like it or not. Look, this is personal for so many of us, Gwen and I included. We were only able to have that family because of fertility treatments. And I will be damned if anyone in this country should be denied that same right. When Congress passes that bill to restore reproductive freedom, President Harris will sign it into law. Folks, this is getting pretty simple now. Kamala and I trust women. It's that simple. Now, tomorrow, women all across America of every age, both parties, are going to send a loud and clear message to Donald Trump, whether he likes it or not. So here it is, folks. It's our moment. The election is here. The momentum's on our side. With 1 or 2 votes per precincts in the state of Michigan, we can win the whole damn thing. We can. We take nothing for granted. Now, Gwen and I, we think the word hope is the most powerful word in the English language. In fact, it was so powerful when we finally had that child and that little girl, we named her Hope. But while hope is a great word and a great name, it's not a damn plan. So it's time for the pep talk, folks. We are in the fourth quarter, 2 minutes left. The game is tied. But we've got the damn ball, and we got the best quarterback on the field in Kamala Harris. We don't get tired because we know there's plenty of time to sleep when you're dead. And we believe in the promise of America. We just have to fight for it. Here's the deal, folks. There's going to be a day you're going to be sitting in that rocking chair, and you're going to be rocking on that porch, and a little one's going to come home from school and ask, what did you do in the 2024 election where the American experiment survived, where the rule of law survived, where decency survived? And you're going to be able to answer every damn thing I could. Every damn thing I could. So Detroit, it's time, and as the vice president says, when we vote, Michigan, bring this thing home for America.
Doesn't that just get you fired up? Doesn't that just encourage us to move forward? That's what I've loved so much about the closing message of the Harris-Walz campaign. They have made a very specific effort not to mention Donald Trump's name in the final days of this campaign. They don't need to talk about him. This campaign has progressed so far in its positivity that they don't even need to make this a referendum on Donald Trump anymore. It's not about moving on from him, it's just about moving forward because we are already leaving Donald Trump behind even before the polls close. We know what the outcome of this election will be. We're not going back because we are not going back. Governor Walz is so spot on there we can move forward. We have the opportunity. So let's make it happen. And we're going to keep talking about that on this show. If you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. Leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around until the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. Until next time, I'll see you soon.